When you win a competition or you win many competitions for a single piece, is that what drives you to keep going in that direction, or is it like, or is it something else? Maybe you wrote the piece and you felt it before you even won something, or is it something in between?
Yeah, definitely the latter. I mean, yeah, like definitely feeling like I when I finished that piece, I felt like just like it did everything that I was trying to like wanted to hear. You know, I felt like, which I think is like, to me, I've always like described it to my students as like, this is like a rite of passage. I feel like that you get as a composer. Like you spend so much time, like you have mentor composers, you have your teachers, and you're like, you know, you bring in your stuff, you want to know what they think. And at some point you arrive at this place where it's like, that was everything I wanted to do. And you could go to concerts or submit it to competitions and do really well or really terribly. Like, you know, people hate the piece or you don't win anything or something like that. And the fact that it like did everything you wanted to do is just like, you know, it's all you wanted to happen. You know, so like the idea that if I took that rift and shade to a lesson and someone was like, oh, I don't like this, or, you know, you should change this, I'd be like, nah, that's exactly what I wanted, which is, you know, to me it was like a really kind of empowering thing as a composer to just feel like that was exactly what I wanted to do. And so I'm definitely sort of like a maybe tedious composer. I like really spend a lot of time trying to get everything to feel like that to me. Doesn't always happen, but I feel like when I feel that way and I send a piece out, it's just like really gratifying to just know that I can feel confident in what I tried to do was accomplished on the score, at least.
Yeah, so like that kind of gratification, that kind of knowing, the knowing part probably happens when you finish the piece. It doesn't even happen when you give it to the performers.
Yeah.
It happens like when you finish.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, certainly sometimes like, you know, you send a piece to performers and you hear it live and you're like, wow, that was, I thought that was okay, but that turned out really good or something. But yeah, I definitely feel that way in the score. But you know, it's like, to answer your question though, like winning the competitions is really just like, feels like it affirms how you felt about the piece. And it also gives you more chances for commissions and to write new pieces and everything. So when I feel that way about a piece, I definitely try to make sure I submit it to stuff, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I feel the same way. When I know if the piece is good when I finish it, like regardless of showing it to anyone. Well, I show it to my wife. That's
yeah.
She's a hard critic. Let me tell you, Jesus Christ. But when she doesn't say anything, that's when I know it's good. She's like, yeah, that's good. Or she doesn't even say it's good. It's like, oh yeah, that works.
Yeah.
I say that works.
That works.
And now I say that to my students, that works. They know that means I like it if I say that works.
That's
because
right.
It doesn't really matter if I like the tune, right? It matters if you like the tune. It doesn't really matter if somebody else likes it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, it matters if you feel satisfied with it.
So my wife is a scientist, also not a musician, and I feel like you get a lot of information from their feedback. I think as composers, like we're very much sort of trained to like take your aesthetic interest out of the listening experience. Like, not to say that I don't like listen to stuff and think I enjoy this or I love this, but like my brain is like sort of wired now to like assess how the composer is going through their ideas, what they're doing with the material, all these like little nitty gritty composition things, and I don't always think about like how it makes me feel. And I remember listening to like some gnarly new music thing, I forget what it was, and my wife walks into the room, she's like, that's kind of creepy, and I was like, oh yeah, like, no, it is. You're right. I didn't even like register that.
Yeah, it's not even something that you were even thinking about.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way.
So I think, you know, everything that I write for myself, I put my aesthetics onto it, obviously. But it's useful, I think, to separate a little bit because you can get so many cool ideas from, beautiful, ugly, gnarly, scary stuff like that in the right context. You know, to go back to context, like it depends on how you use the idea. So listening widely is definitely, I think, big focus of like my teaching and just my composing too.